MSTR is in a pivotal spot, guys. We have seen the breakout over that $375 level. Since then, we have run up to around that $410 level, rejected this resistance zone and this descending trend line. Momentarily false broke beneath, came right back up. And since then, we've been getting very, very tight, building energy underneath these two massive levels, guys. Being that Bitcoin is mirroring this on a huge breakout level. We know that they're going to confirm together, guys, or reject together, leading to a big movement soon. That being said, guys, my name is Dylan from Dylan's Trades. We're going to waste no time getting straight into this technical analysis breakdown. First, stemming over on the weekly analysis. On the weekly candlesticks, guys, we do see a bull flag continuation. Stock price makes a big movement up, entering this range of consolidation, breaking around 180 bucks, going as high as 543, guys. Since then, we entered another descending flag, right? We break over the top. We did have trouble around these previous highs where we halted over here. And then we did enter this micro pennant structure, right? We broke to the upside around 375 until finding newfound descending resistance, which has been a newfound data point, right? And we have wicked out at that level. Seeing this very thin candle on the weekly analysis, not really much to look at, guys. Stock price is getting tight under a big level here, deciding if we want to surge over $400 very strong, have this euphoric push to that 440 range, eventually get that next trend, guys, to eventually test this $500 price target we do have on the channel, right? Or eventually reject, right? It does look like a good spot for the buyers here, just being that we have this very strong buyer stepping up on this channel. Even if we do, right, reject here, we're likely just to enter this range once again, kind of just consolidating. But I do believe we're due for a breakout. But that being said, guys, it's all we're getting out of the weekly analysis. Very simple as of now, not much to look at. Let's go jump over to the daily, guys. So looking on the daily, guys, this is where the meat and potatoes is. And this is a very interesting analysis for multiple different reasons. First and foremost, being the most erratic price action we have seen on strategy in quite some time, right? We did break this descending trend line within this pennant structure, leading to an obvious breakout with Bitcoin. And we did run up from 375 pretty effortlessly here, guys. And this is the candle you want to see. This looks really, really good here, guys. Not going to lie. Right, we did get a sharp movement down, very, very unorthodox in nature. But then we immediately reversed, guys, which we mentioned in the last video. We really love to look at this, guys, because any short sellers who have stepped in within this region have been effectively trapped. And since then, guys, the next day we did surge, pushing as high as that 415 range until ultimately false breaking. Notice how this big descending trend line, guys, on the daily analysis, right? We did have 1, 2, and 3 touch points within the past, which did wick us out. And we have left 1 wick, 2 wick, and notice how within that day, we left that body perfectly coinciding. So we did not get the daily close over this daily trend line. So even though within the day, the introspective analysis, it did appear, right, we got over this resistance, we're pushing up. When the dust was settled, the end of the daily candle, we did this invert hammer candle, rejecting another one of these kind of false break movements, guys. So we've seen a lot of herky-jerky activity. Even the best technical analysts have been fooled a few times on MicroStrategy. Just how it is, guys. Sometimes stock price is a little bit erratic. That's what we have seen over the last few weeks. But ultimately, right, from this breakout level 375, we have been trending in the right direction, despite seeing some chops. So we're clearly seeing a ton of confluence on this descending trend line and this red box resistance. We have 1 day perfectly wicking out here, 2 days, 3 days leaving the body perfectly at that level, 4 days with this wick, and 5. So it is not rocket science, guys. We're really building energy here, getting tight. We should see a very explosive movement if volume and Bitcoin can really move behind that, leading into this next run, guys. That's what we have been expecting. Right, stock to leave a nice strong body bar, just like this one over here, but for this candle to close over these highs. That's really what MSTR investors are hoping for. A strong body bar over this would liquidate any short sellers who are still within these regions, sending stock price higher, new buyers stepping into the market, guys. So it really is as simple as that in the daily analysis. When we analyze the current candle structure, right, we understand that we're building energy underneath. Currently looking at the candles, right, we did flip pretty bearish here. You know, it's still looking good after this wide bar, but with this inverted hammer candle, it's not the best look. So we did pull back the next day, but now we have a doji-esque hammer candle. So we are quite neutral here, just being that this is still an attempted higher low to bounce here to move up higher. So I would say we look pretty neutral here. We got to look at the other time frames, guys. So let's go jump over to the hourly. So on the hourly, this is why we do multi-time frame analysis. We do have a bull flag, guys. As simple as that. This should be a strong break over 400 bucks. We could get the upside. So keep it on $400, guys. That's psychological level, right? We'll go and mark that up. Very likely to see the breakout over this level, but I would say trend with caution, guys, because we have seen these false breaks, right? So it really is as simple as that. The sharp movement up by the buyers, really initiating the next trend. A false break on the hourly, and now we're just getting very, very tight entering this channel, right? Looking for that upside break or slowly grinding lower, lower, lower. I do think we get the breakout, guys. Looks pretty good on the hourly, right? Pretty thin candles, not the most beautiful behavior right here. Kind of just strange price action. So within these regions, guys, when it's a little bit indecisive, we understand where stock price is trying to do, where we're at, but it's a little bit in the air. So this is where we jump over to Bitcoin, guys. We can really put the pieces together quite well, right? I would lean bullish as we've seen this huge, huge, huge false break, guys. I mean, this initiates short sellers, guys. We break at this level, right? They step in and we squeeze up, right? Instead of squeezing up and then getting destroyed, right? What we did in the past, right? We immediately squeezed up and now we're just kind of holding our gains. So see this tight consolidation. You got to lean to the upside, being that we initiated this trend, but we have seen some strange price activity in a way though. So let's go flip over to Bitcoin, guys. Let's go over this live, right? So Bitcoin as of now, right? So we are currently trying to break out of this structure, guys, within this current constraints, right? Stock price makes a big movement up. And then we have this bull flag-esque kind of channel. Not quite, but it's, similar to it, right? We're really just bouncing between the ceiling to the floor, right? Ceiling to the floor. And then we mentioned in the last video, we're really starting to set some consolidation, setting these nice signs. And we broke over the top, guys. And now we're kind of just holding here, consolidating, getting tight, right? So once again, guys, it doesn't take a genie to say this, right? It's very simple stuff right now. We're either going to lift off at this level, entering these breakout levels, which I do think is most probable, reaching within these $120,000 levels, really sending MicroStrategy likely to $500, guys, our price target, right? We're building energy here, or this is a false break, or we'll get snapped right back down within this channel. And if that does happen, we will cover that live, guys, but it's as simple as that, right? We're building within this channel. We started to set some very bullish signs, setting this false bear trap, squeezing up immediately, regaining 100K. Now we're setting some good signs, right? We're holding this trend line nice. And so you always lean bullish here, but there is a chance we do break down. So let's go jump over to the hourly on Bitcoin, right? So we get a better representation of us holding this descending trend line. We'll look a little bit differently because we're on the hourly. We do have kind of a micro flag forming out as well, similar to MicroStrategy, right? And no surprise here at all. So keep on this descending trend line, guys. I would say confidently that a breakout over these highs, guys, should give us that very nice next movement, guys. I don't think when we see a breakout here on Bitcoin, I don't think we're looking at a couple of days movement. I think we're looking at the next cycle, guys. I think we're looking to blow past these weekly highs. Clearly seeing here when we knife down around that 110,000 level, or, in the beginning of 2025-ish, we knife down as low as 75K, right? We'd have a huge reversal here to push up higher. So looking at the hourly analysis, guys, if we do blow past these highs where, we've seen a ton of rejection, guys, hence over here, right? And then this heavy confluence over here where it did appear we're going to break out, and then we false broke over there for 1, 2, 3 hours, knifing down. So with that being said, guys, we get the strong close over 110K, should be lights out. I don't think we get there and false break once again. So that's currently what we're looking at, man. This is live, real technical analysis, no BS, no fluff, right? It isn't 100% as of now. Nothing is, of course, but it is more in the air. It does look good, though, to see Bitcoin hold this descending trend line, using as support. As often when we see this, guys, the trend is your friend, right? We're using it for that next energy building phase to move higher. So I like the spot we're at, guys, right? It took us a little bit to build our bias as there's a lot of moving pieces going on, but we're seeing a lot of linked things as of now. We're seeing MicroStrategy build energy underneath this huge breakout level, which can initiate these $500 and 440 targets, right? And we're seeing Bitcoin do the same exact thing, guys, building underneath once again, just such a massive pivotal level, being this really 110K breakout level. We'll move that a little bit higher, guys. So that is what the analysis is, guys. If you found any value out of the video, consider like, subscribing. We will cover this live as this transpires, guys. It's a very liquid, in the moment conversation. Even if we do knife down from this drop, I think once again we're more likely just to form a low around 383, keep chopping around a bit until we make the next movement. So I do think we still look good from a grand scheme of things. I definitely am still bullish. I've not changed my bias whatsoever. I think $500 will be hit, guys. But with that being said, that is the video. Once again, like, subscribe, all that, guys. Keep an eye on these major levels, these major data points. Have a good day. Take care. Trade smart. and peace.